Hi there, and welcome to Blame It on the Inverts. I'm Sean. I'm at the happiest place on earth, Disneyland in Anaheim, California. Disneyland is another park that I was extremely fortunate to grow up down the freeway from. My last visit was a couple of years ago, before they started the transition from Splash Mountain into Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and I can't wait to get my first ride. I also don't remember the last time I got to visit Disneyland during their holiday celebration, and I'm so insanely excited to be here. Let's head in. Walking through the tunnel under the Disneyland Railroad on the way to Main Street, USA always puts the biggest smile on my face. I wanted to experience as much as possible during my day, but hadn't decided on a starting point, and ended up heading to one of the attractions I got to see open when I was younger, the Indiana Jones Adventure, Temple of the Forbidden Eye. The Indiana Jones Adventure is an exciting dark ride where you face many dangerous situations in the temple on your terrain vehicle. The queue is also filled with theming, and has some interactive moments that have been there since the ride's debut. Every ride usually fills my head with memories, and this was the perfect way to start my Disneyland day. Very close by is Pirates of the Caribbean, so I headed there next. This water ride takes you underneath the park into a world where pirates plot and plunder. Of course, it inspired the well-known movie franchise, and I love the ways they've incorporated Jack Sparrow into the ride. Next up was another attraction I got to see open as a child. However, this one went through some major changes recently. A few years ago, Disneyland announced plans to update Splash Mountain to a newer version, featuring characters from their movie The Princess and the Frog. Now, before the original version shut down, I was able to come and visit the park to take a nostalgic spin. And I'm so excited to try out the new version, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Let's go. That was so fantastic. I absolutely loved how it was pretty much the same exact ride layout, but with completely different theming and a totally different ride experience. They did such a fantastic job with the whole storyline going through the ride. The animatronics in that ride are incredible, which, I mean, you would expect with it being just completed within the past couple of years, but they were so good, like almost lifelike. It was wild. I have to tell you though, my favorite part, they have this light shining down as you are approaching the final lift to go down the big drop at the end. That light has such just an aura and a presence about it, and it made me so excited to go and see what was coming up. That was such a blast, and that's so great. I can't wait to take another ride. From there, I headed to Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance. The queue is extremely immersive, where you play the role of a Resistance recruit. Along the way, you're captured by the First Order and face a room full of stormtroopers. You're eventually brought into a holding cell, where you're broken out by fellow Resistance members and you escape in your transport pod, but not before a thrilling ride through the Star Destroyer. Rise of the Resistance is absolutely incredible, and an attraction I'll make sure to ride every visit. After a quick lunch, I headed back to Adventureland and the Jungle Cruise. This classic attraction takes you on a boat ride, with lots of animal encounters and even more jokes from the skippers. didn't end up hitting any of the Fantasyland attractions, but I love spending time in this area of the park, filled with rides based on movies I loved as a child. It was finally time for some coasters, so we headed to Matterhorn bobsleds, and was able to grab a ride on each side. Matterhorn was one of my very first roller coasters, and is still one of my favorite attractions in the park. And I love the updated animatronic abominable snowman that was added in 2015. Big Thunder Mountain was up next, and another one of my first coasters. I rode this with an enthusiast friend of mine who asked me if I knew about the goat trick. I told her I'd been doing it since I was a kid. Space Mountain showed a 50-minute wait, so we decided to check out the single rider line, which wasn't even 5 minutes. The single rider lines are a recent addition to the park, and so fantastic to see. It was time for Haunted Mansion Holiday next, which just got a great-looking new queue. From Halloween through just after New Year's, Disneyland transforms the Haunted Mansion into a holiday version, featuring characters from The Nightmare Before Christmas. They've been doing this for quite some time now, and it's always one of my favorite parts of the holiday celebration. We then tried to take a spin on It's a Small World, but it unfortunately wasn't open at the time. We did, however, get to catch the clock chime parade, which is always fun to watch. And the lights, of course, looked so pretty. Next up was another new attraction for me, which I absolutely loved. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's so cute, and I am obsessed with Dance Class with Daisy. After a quick ride on Star Tours, we found our spots for the nighttime fireworks show, which unfortunately was canceled due to the wind. They did, however, have winter illuminations on Sleeping Beauty's castle, and they still made it snow on Main Street, which is always magical. Thank you so much for joining me for my visit to Disneyland. I had such an amazing day today. It was pretty busy, but I got more done than I expected to, and I can't wait to come back. It was a little disappointing for the fireworks, but honestly, it does happen sometimes, and they still made it snow, which was so magical. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you at another park soon.